Hey folks, I'm glad you're here. My name is Chris, and this is the Sons of Sever YouTube channel where there's no such thing as bad weather, only bad gear. Today, my brother Eric and I are going to be talking about the Softstar Switchback. We got this boot back in the early fall, kind of close to the end of summer, and we wanted to get a review out relatively quickly, so we put out an initial impressions review after we'd hiked in it really only one time. Since then, this thing has seen a lot of use through the fall, winter, and now early spring, and we are ready to give you our final opinions on how the Switchback performs. Eric and I are going to ping pong back and forth talking about our likes and our dislikes of the boot, followed by our final opinions on whether or not we would recommend this to somebody who is looking for a barefoot boot. There are timestamps down in the description if you want to jump around to different parts of the video, and if there's something that we don't cover in this video, make sure to let us know in the comment section and we will try to answer whatever questions you have. We want to let you guys know we are going to be at the Barefoot Expo in Denver in May. We're going to be going booth to booth, doing short little interviews with each booth and then posting those interviews here to YouTube. So if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe so that it can be like you're there even if you're not going to be attending. If you are going to be attending, try to flag us down. We would love to meet some of you guys. But for now, I'm going to pass things over to Eric to get into our first like of the Softstar Switchback.
So the first thing that we really like about the Softstar Switchback is the way that it's being made. So these boots are handmade in the United States and they're being made with more traditional methods. So this is stitch down construction. There's only two other brands that I can think of that are making barefoot boots this way. That's Barefoot here in the US and Jim Green in South Africa. So it really is unique and it's really cool. It makes these things very durable and it makes them repairable. You can resole this thing because that upper has been stitched down to the midsole and then the outsole's been glued to that midsole. If the outsole wears out on you, then you can just replace it. If the stitching on that stitch down construction fails you, it's something that can be repaired. So again, that's something that's unique among the barefoot market. We really like that about the Switchback.
The first like that I want to mention on the Switchback is how foot-shaped it is, especially when it comes to the toe box. This is probably one of, if not the widest toe box that we have worked with. It's up there, I think almost identical with the real foot toe box. Now the difference here is that the real foot on the outside of the foot has a really dramatic swoop of the foot shape. The Switchback stays in a straight line all along that outer edge. And I think that's what makes it so that it doesn't look quite as crazy, even though it definitely has as much of that much wanted width in the toe box.
Another thing we like about this thing is that there's no break-in time to it. Because it is so foot-shaped, it just molds to your foot really well and there's no hot spots on it at all because the toe box is so wide because there's a good amount of volume. There's no rubbing or anything like that. You can put this on your foot and you can go take it on a rigorous hike. We like that there's no break-in period with this boot.
The next like I want to talk about is that this thing is actually relatively cozy. It's got this like micro fleece lining and the insole has that lining as well. So it's insulated from all directions, but it doesn't seem to be too insulated. We did use this at the end of summer, beginning of fall when it was still 60s and 70s. And when we did finally go out on a hike in it, it was still relatively warm and I don't remember my foot being overly hot. But fast forward to now when we are towards the end of winter, beginning of spring, we're still seeing 30-degree days outside and it's pretty cozy for my feet on those cold days, especially paired with the right pair of socks.
So the underfoot comfort that the Switchback has is really good. They have a nice balance. There's a 6mm outsole, a 6mm midsole, and then a 2 to 3mm insole. So we're looking at 15mm overall. And that midsole that they're using really provides quite a bit of cushioning for you. So we find that that balance is really good. It doesn't take away from the flexibility. It doesn't take away from the ground feel at all. Those are still there, but you still get a lot of underfoot comfort. So we really like that about it.
The last like that I want to bring in here is how much I like the traction pattern and the way that it performs. I believe this is a Mega Grip outsole from Vibram, and it just does a fantastic job in lots of different environments. Not super duper fantastic in snow, but totally passable. And it's going to be great just about everywhere else. Not only does it have that Mega Grip outsole, but the rubber that they use is fairly soft. So that's going to squish in whatever environment you're stepping into. If you're on a wet rock, it's going to squish on that wet that rock and provide you really, really good traction overall. So I'm a huge fan at how this traction pattern has performed for me. With our likes of the Switchback out of the way, it's time for us to get into our dislikes. But first, we want to let you know we do have a link to Softstar down in the description. A little bit of a spoiler alert. We do think overall this is a good boot. You'll have to wait to the end of the video to find out whether or not we would recommend it based on its overall performance and its price. But if you're interested in taking a look at it, use that link in the description to get over to their website. You can also take a look at all of their other products, which we haven't reviewed anything else from Softstar yet. We hope to. Their other shoes are more spring and summer based, so we're hoping to get some of those here in the near future so that we can give you our overall opinion on Softstar as a brand. But yeah, if you're interested in checking this guy out, make sure to use the link down in the description. The other thing we would recommend if you want to elevate the barefoot experience you're getting out of your barefoot shoes, get yourself a good quality pair of toe socks. These are Creepers toe socks. They are merino wool, and we found that through our testing of over 20 different brands of toe socks at this point, that this has the best combination of durability and comfort. And if you use the link down in the description to get over to the Creepers website and you make a purchase, using that link will auto apply a 10% off discount code at checkout for you.
Okay, when it comes to our dislikes of the Switchback, the first thing is the aesthetics. It just is not a very good looking boot in our opinion. It totally passes as something that's trail worthy. But even then, there are just a lot of other boots that look a lot better. And I think for this one specifically, the coloring as well as the paneling that they have going on within it is just very unique. It's very interesting, but it isn't a look that particularly catches my eye. So if there was gonna be an updated version of this thing, I would definitely love to see just a different look about the boot itself. I would love for them to keep the profile and the last and everything the exact same, but just switch up the way that these panels work, get some different leather colors that are a little more appealing, and that would suit it very well.
The first dislike that I'm going to give for the Switchback is going to echo Eric's, and it is the look of this. The look is what I would say very jarring. The first time that we actually looked at and handled these in person was at Anvil's studio. He has his rows and rows of racks of shoes that he has tested and cut in half, and we were looking at these things and we were like, man, I'm not sure we even want to review these things. I'm really glad we did because I think the look is a little bit of acquired taste and it looks better as it breaks in. So while I don't love the way it looks overall, especially at the beginning, I really don't mind the way that it looks now, especially compared to the way that it performs.
So another dislike that I had with this one specifically was that it felt kind of sloshy in a way. My foot moves around in it quite a bit. It does not secure my foot in the midfoot the same way that some other shoes with wide toe boxes do. And so I felt like my foot was sliding forward a little bit more. Now they do have two different widths that you can choose from. We went with the widest so that we could test that out for you guys. And my foot could probably do with the regular version, but that's definitely something to consult their width chart and their sizing chart with. When it comes to the sizing, we actually first got a pair that were in our normal sizes and they felt like they were too small. So this is actually a US men's size 10. It's a unisex size on their website. Chris ended up getting an 11, which now is kind of his normal size, but definitely measure your foot, consult that sizing chart because you don't want to get that wrong.
The only other dislike that I have for the Switchback is going to be the lack of waterproofing here. It's relatively water resistant if you're out in downpouring rain, which I definitely tested this winter. It's going to do fine. If you're splashing through puddles, you're not going to have any issues. You're only going to have problems if you go for a full submersion of this thing. I wish they would include waterproofing and a waterproof gusset that went up relatively high. That would just make this thing quite a bit more versatile in my opinion.
The last dislike that I will give here is just that I would take some beefier construction out of this thing. I love that it's stitched down, but the cord that they use for it really just looks like some thin thread. When you compare that to something like the Jim Green stitch down construction that has a 2.2 millimeter beefy cord that they're using, I just have a lot more faith in the longevity of the Jim Green boots than I do this one. Again, it can be repaired and that's great, and I do think it's a durable method to make these boots, but I think that they could beef it up just a little bit, and along with that, I would take a functional pull tab. So this, I cannot get my finger through, it might as well just not even be there.
Getting into my final opinion on the Softstar Switchback, would I recommend this to somebody who is looking for a relatively rugged, barefoot featured hiking boot? I think that I would. And initially when I was thinking about my final opinion on this, I was like, do I really like it? I think the only thing that's holding me back is that jarring look that it has. It's so wide. At first glance, it looks really goofy. But I think that the way that it has performed has gotten me over that, because it is fantastic. That wide toe box is super nice. It is zero drop. It's extremely flexible, yet also pretty protective. It's very grippy, and overall it's just super comfortable to the foot. I'm probably selling a lot of you on how much I actually really like this boot. That look just holds me back for whatever reason. So if you can get over that, use the link down in the description to get over to the Softstar website and grab yourself a pair. I actually don't think you'll be disappointed when it comes to the way that this thing performs.
Okay, so when it comes to my final opinion of the Softstar Switchback, would I recommend this for other people? And it definitely depends a little bit. Now, I like that these come in a regular and a wide width, so if you have a narrower foot, then I would suggest looking into the regular fit. If you have a really wide toe box, then this guy's gonna suit you super well, and I do think that it performs awesome. It is really comfortable underfoot. I love the outsole and the midsole and the insole combo that they have with this thing. It's kind of in the perfect spot, in my opinion, as far as a barefoot hiking boot goes. I feel like it has a good amount of flexibility and ground fill, but your feet are still pretty protected as well. So functionally, I think this thing nails it, and I think there's just a few things that they should improve. Give me a functional pull tab, change up the look of the boot a little bit, and they would totally knock this thing out of the park. But it really is a great product. I love that it's handmade in the United States. I love the way that it can be resold. So it really is a pretty good value if you're looking for a barefoot boot. Your foot's gonna be comfortable in it. There's gonna be no break-in period. So it is something that I can suggest to people as long as you are okay with the look and with that price. Again, I think it's worth it.
Folks, if you like this video, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share. All those things really help the channel out. If you're interested in any of the products that we talked about in this video, there will be links to them down in the description. If we have discount codes for any of those companies, they will be featured with the links. If you want to get more content from us, there are 3 different places you can get it. The first one is Patreon, where for $1 a month, you can get exclusive behind-the-scenes content we don't post anywhere else. If you want to be most up to date with what we are working on, make sure to follow us on Instagram, where we are constantly posting unboxing videos. Go follow us on Strava if you're interested in seeing mini reviews in real time of the products we're using and what we're using them for. Strava allows you to track and post about your different activities. We track and post about our runs, trail runs, hikes, paddleboarding, and weightlifting, and we do little mini reviews on the products we're using during those activities. Go follow us there, and we will follow you back. We appreciate your view, and as always, we will catch you in the mountains.